We're handling patterns and sequences.
We are handling sequences and patterns. And that is the same topic we are continuing with. However, I left some questions with you. Can you remind us the page we are on in our e-learning, in our home study learning workbook? Remind us the page. My son, can you remind us the page?
Teacher, it says page. It was page 50. It was where you left us with the questions. It was page 50.
So can you share that page? Is it possible?
Let me see.
Is it in here or?
Yes, I have it.
Everybody should check that page. She has told us it's page 50. We had the table on top. That was question 9. Then we have question 10. If you don't have the page around, can you just read the question 10?
Question, because it's only the host has disabled the sharing of the screen.
Okay, can you read the question?
Okay, question 10. 3 multiples of a number are 34, 170, and 255. What is the number?
34, 170,
and 255.
255. 3 multiples of a number are 34, 170, 255. Some people had given the answer last time, but now I want us to remind ourselves of the procedure in getting that number that has those 3 multiples. Somebody to remind us the procedure of getting the number whose 3 multiples are those ones given. This is question number 10. Somebody give us the procedure. Anyone? Winnie?
Yes, teacher. I did the try and error method. I tried dividing all numbers by from 2 to about 30. I tried those numbers. Then after dividing them, I came up with the numbers. My method was try and error.
Your method was try and error. Try and error. Now, we don't want to be doing the try and error because there are so many numbers. If we are to try so many of them, it will take us time. In other words, this question wants us to find the common factor. If these are multiples of the number, then the number is a factor of the 3 numbers. Agreed? Somebody to say yes?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
Somebody to type yes?
Yes, teacher.
I'm waiting. Yes, thank you. So now, if these are multiples of a number, then we look for the factor of the 3 numbers. It could be the highest common factor. And in that case, somebody told us that she used try and error. We are not supposed to use trial and error. These are supposed to be prime numbers. And we list the prime numbers until we get one that is a common factor of 34, 170, 255. So we have a list of the prime numbers. Can you guide me with a list of prime numbers, beginning with the first one? 2. Thank you.
3.
3.
5,
We have 5,
7,
7,
11,
continue.
11. 9 is not part. 11, 13,
13,
17,
continue.
19,
The next prime number.
19,
15 is the prime
7,
number.
17,
17,
19,
19, guys, can continue, but let's look at those ones and see if any of those numbers is a factor of the 3 numbers given. When we try 2, can 2 be a factor of all the numbers?
No, it
This
can't.
reminds us of the divisibility test. So the divisibility of 2 an even number or 0. So the first 2 would qualify, but the third one would not qualify, right? Can 3 be a common factor of all these numbers? When you try 34, for instance, divisibility test for 3, the sum of the digits, a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is a multiple of 3. Now, when we add 3 and 4, we get 7. Is it a multiple of 3?
no,
No. So then 3 cannot
No.
be a common factor. When we look at 5, a number is divisible by 5 if and only if its last digit is either 0 or 5. So it would be okay with the second and the last number. But when we look at the first number, it doesn't end with either 5 or 0. Therefore, 5 can't be a common factor. For 7, you simply divide. 7, you simply divide and see if a number is divisible by 7. Now, from 28, 4 times 7 will give us 28. And 5 times 7 will give us 35. Therefore, that of 7. And therefore, we can't use 7 as the common factor, the fact that it doesn't qualify to be a multiple of, to be a factor of 34. Then we move to the next one, 11. Then the multiples of 11 that are next to 34, we have 22, not a multiple, so that can't be. We look at 13. 13, the multiples of 13 that are close to 34, we have 13, 26, 39.
34 is long. Teacher has left.
My senior unmuted.
Yes, I'm asking is teacher, has teacher left?
Yeah. Technical issues.
When we come to 17, the rest of the numbers could not qualify. 2 could not qualify, 3 could not qualify, 5 could not qualify, 7 could not qualify, 13, 11 could not qualify, until we come to 17. Hello? Hello?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
The host here had removed me and it doesn't allow me to continue with the video, but you had written the 3 numbers, 34,
Yes, teacher.
170, and 225.
Yes.
And we identified 17 as the common factor. It goes into 34 2 times. It goes into 170 10 times. It goes into 225 15 times. Therefore, the common factor or the number that is a factor of 34, 17, 225 is 17. Are we together, ladies?
Yes, teacher.
Thank you. So now we move to question number 11. Or somebody who can tell us what we are supposed to.
Three multiples of a number are 38, 95, and 133. What is the number?
3 multiples of a number are
38, 95, and
38,
133.
95.
Yes. And 133.
133. 3 multiples of a number are 38, 95, 133. So like we've done with the number 10, we are going to find the highest common factor of...
Teacher, now you can put on your video. You are a host. Teacher, now you can put on your video.
Okay, thank you.
You are a host.
So now we have the numbers are 38, 95, 135, 133. We want to find the highest common factor. So we have our list of the prime numbers. We have 2. The first one, 2 cannot be a factor of 95. The mere fact that the last digit is not an even number, it is not a 0. Then when we look at 3, you add these 2 digits, 3 and 8. What is the sum? What is the sum of 3 and 8? 11. 11 is not a multiple of 3, therefore 3 can't help. We look at 5. It is only one number that is a multiple of 5, and therefore it can't be a common factor. We look at 7. 7, we get the factor by dividing. We have 38 divided by 7. We have a number 35 here, and the next number is 42. the multiples of 7, we have 35 and 42. Therefore, 7 is not a factor of 38. The next one, next prime number is 11. We have a 33, we have a 44. The multiples of 11 are 33 and 44. Therefore, 38 is not a factor of 38. 13, when you try, we have 26, we have 39. The factors of the multiples of 13 close to 38 are 26 and 39. Therefore, 38 is not a multiple of 13. When you look at 17, the multiples of 17 that are close to this number, here we have 34, and then we have the next multiple of 17. Is it 50? 50 what? 34. 17 times 2, 34. 17 times 3, 51. So the multiples of 17 that are close to 38 are 34 and 51. Therefore, 38 is not a multiple of 17. We come to 19, and probably we settle there. We have 19. How many times does 19 go into 38?
Twice.
How many times? How many?
Twice. Twice.
Twice. So 19 goes into 38 2 times. How many times does 19 go into 95? How many times? Somebody who is ready? You give us the number of times.
5 times.
5 times, thank you. And then, how many times does 19 go into 133?
7 times.
7
Seven
times.
7 times. So, that means 19 is a factor of all the 3 numbers. The number whose multiples are 38, 95, and 133 is 19. And this is how we obtain it. Thank you very much. There is someone who posted the work, and I saw that person had got it very well. Then, question number 12. Somebody to guide us on question number 12.
4 multiples of the number are 49, 77, 133, and 203. What is the number?
What is the number?
Multiples of a number are 49,
49,
77,
77,
133,
yes,
and 200.
33.
233.
No, it's 133.
133.
203.
203. 4 multiples of a number are these ones given. Can we find the number the same way we have been getting the number? So the list of prime numbers has been erased, but we still remember the prime numbers. Can 2 be a factor of the 4 numbers?
No,
Can 2?
it can't.
Can 3 qualify?
No,
Can
it does not.
Then what is the first number that is a factor of all the 4?
7.
It is 7. Thank you. So we have 7, and 7 goes into 49 how many times?
7
11 times. 19 times. 7 goes into 203 how many times?
29 times.
29 times. So the number whose 4 multiples are 49, 77, 133, 203 is 7. Is that fine? Is that okay? Yes. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
teacher.
I want to appreciate the people who tried to do the work that I gave. And that from this point, I want to echo my number once again, because there are some people who never got this exercise just because they are not on our math assignment group. But my number is 070-104-164909. If you send me a message, I'll be able to add you on the group so that if there is any work that we have to do, you also get it. Some people do not access it because I didn't have their contacts, but when you send me, that is my WhatsApp number. When you send me the number, I'll be able to add you on the group so that you can also access the work. However, I want to thank people who tried that work. It was more of our next subtopic. And what is our next subtopic? What is our next subtopic?
Describing the general rule.
Describing the general rule.
General rule.
And in activity 6.2, what are we supposed to do?
Finding the next term.
Finding the next term. So that exercise I gave, it was more of this subtopic where we're supposed to describe the general rule of finding the next term. Of course, there is a pattern. When you look at the numbers given, there is a pattern, and that helps you to find the next number. So now, can we straight away move to our next subtopic, unless otherwise there is someone with a question? Anyone with a question, put up your hand.
Teacher, there may be some questions because some people were experiencing technical problems and they were saying it on the NGS online, so they're just joining now.
They are just what?
Joining now.
Yes.
So now, how many participants do we have right now?
43 now. 43 now, and at first they were 20 something. So I think they have just joined.
Okay. We shall keep reminding them what we are doing and we move together. So our next subheading. So thank you. People are joining, that is very good. And by the way, members, if there is any friend of yours who is not yet on the e-learning or the Zoom lessons, tell them for this month we are having free Zoom lessons. Let as many people join as possible so that we all benefit from this offer from the school administration. And I want to thank the school administration plus the team that is coordinating the program headed by Mr. Sendaula Ibrahim. Now, activity 6.2. Activity 6.2. Can we have someone to guide us on what we are supposed to do? someone to guide us on what we are supposed to do? Anyone? Anyone to volunteer?
We are finding in the next term. Okay, example. There is an example. What are the next 3 numbers in the sequence? The numbers are 12.
The numbers are
12, 17,
the next 3. Part A, we have
12,
12,
17,
17,
and 22
22.
for part A.
Part A. So part B,
50,
50,
47,
47,
44,
44,
44,
41.
41,
Yes, 38.
41,
38.
38. So we want to find the next 3 numbers in the sequence. For instance, we have part A, 12, 17, 22. Part B, we have 50, 47, 44, 41, 38. Is there any connection between the numbers given? For part A, what is the connection between the first and the second? What is the connection between the second and third? Any connection between the numbers? We have 12.
Yes, teacher.
And this
I
is
found
17. Probably, what have we done to move from 12 to 17?
We added 5.
We added
5.
Somebody is telling us that we have added
5.
5. Is it true?
Yes.
Then from 17 to 22, what have we done?
Added 5.
Also added 5.
We have added 5. So now, if these are marks, the first time you get 12 marks. The second time you get 17 marks. The third time you get 22 marks. Probably there is a sequence, there is a pattern in your marks. If another test is given, how many marks do you think you're going to get?
27.
27. And how do you get that 27?
By adding 5.
Because you have gone on adding 5 marks on the previous one to get the next one.
Adding 5 to 22.
It is likely that you're going to add 5 still, and that will give us 27. Remember, we want 3 terms. We have only achieved 1. We want to get the next term. What shall we do?
Again, add 5.
Again, we add 5. And when we add 5, what do we get?
32.
32.
32.
We have achieved the first and the second. We need the third one. The next
You add
3
5, then you
terms.
get 37.
We add 5 and we shall get 37.
7.
So those are the next 3 terms in that sequence. The sequence, the general rule. What is the general rule? Who can state the general rule? Who can state the general rule?
2.
Yes?
To find the pattern, it is usually helpful to first find the differences between each
I beg
term.
your pardon? Who is she?
Marilyn, Owen.
Mariam?
Marilyn.
Yes.
I think I just got it. To find the pattern, it is usually helpful to first find the difference between each term. I think that
Can you
may be
speak
the
louder?
To find the pattern, it is first easier or helpful to first find the difference between each term.
The difference between each two terms. The difference between the first term and the second term is 5. The difference between the second and the third is 5. Therefore, that means we are adding 5 to the previous number in order to get the next number. So the general rule is add 5 . The general rule is add 5 to the term in order to obtain the next number. Then part B. Shall we still add 5? Part B we have 50, we have
47,
47, we
44,
have 44, we
41,
have 41, we have
48.
38. We need the next
38.
3 terms. Then what have we done? What is the difference between the first and the second term?
3.
We kept subtracting.
You
Three.
Subtracted
3.
3. Is that correct? Now we
Yes.
want to use only the first pair of terms and conclude the general rule. You have to ensure that it satisfies all the procedures for the terms given. So you don't look at the first pair and conclude. Let's see if when we apply it to the second pair, we shall also obtain the correct answer. If we are subtracting a 3, subtract 3 from 47, does it give us the next term?
Yes.
Yes, so it has worked for the first pair, it has worked for the second pair. Still maybe, since we still have some other numbers, we may not use the first 2 pairs to conclude the general rule. Let's look at the third pair and see if it is still correct. We are subtracting 3 from 44. Do we get 41?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so by now we are sure this is the rule that is being applied. From that term, the next one, subtract 3. What are we getting? 38. Now, in order to generate the next 3 terms, we are going to go on subtracting 3 from the previous one to get the next term. When you subtract 3 from 38, what do we get?
35.
35. Thank you. Then subtract 3 from 35. What do we get?
32.
32. Subtract 3 from 32.
29.
What do we get?
29.
29. So the next 3 terms are 35, 32, 29.
29.
The general rule, who can state it?
Subtracting 3. In order
Is
for you to
subtracting
get the
3 to get
pattern,
the next
from the
number in
general
the
rule,
sequence.
Subtract 3 from the term to obtain the
There are so many people talking at the same time. So the co-host, make sure we have one person talking.
Co-hosts, teacher. Teacher, there are no co-hosts.
There are no
There are no co-hosts.
Co-hosts.
Okay. Awinyi.
Yes, teacher.
in order for you to get the next
What
number
is
in
the
the
general
sequence,
rule? Can you state the general rule?
in order for you to get the next number in the sequence, you should subtract 3.
Thank you very much. Subtract 3. Subtract 3 from the term or from the number to obtain the next term. Thank you very much. That was the general rule. We move to the next question. If you have anything you want to comment about, you type good morning, people. We are fine sequence and patterns. Go to page. Thank you very much for the direction. Now we are on which page? The current page?
We are on 50. Yes, still on
50.
Page 50.
Is that exercise on page 50 or 51?
50.
Yes?
50 and 51.
So
We have
members
50 and
check.
51.
It's on page 50 and 51.
Yes.
Number 1 is on page 50, number 2 is on page
It's on page
51.
51.
So can we quickly go through that exercise? Can we quickly go through that exercise? Write down the solution to that exercise. We have copy the following exercise and find the sequence in each case, giving the next three numbers. We have question number 1 and then question number 2. Copy each sequence and fill in the missing numbers. I'm giving you 5 minutes to do that exercise and I'm waiting for the solutions. It is now 9:40, so by 9:45, you should have finished the exercise. Ladies, can you mute? Can you mute? Can you mute? Somebody who is listening to the news, could you please mute? Faith. Faith. Thank you. So, have we been able to get the next 3 terms in the sequence given? We need to first get the general rule. We need to establish what is being done.
Teacher, are we doing both exercises or only number 1?
Yes, please.
Are we doing both exercises or only number 1?
Can you, I beg your pardon?
Are we doing number 1 only or are we also doing number 2?
We are doing, can we first do number 1? Then
Yes,
we are going to do number 2.
Okay.
Yes. So, you first do number 1. Can we see how we are getting the next term? We have part A. Somebody to guide us. We have
18, 30, 42,
You're muted.
66.
We have 18, we have 30. What have we done to move from 18 to 30? What is being done?
Added 6.
Added
We have
12.
added 12.
12.
Adding 12.
We have added 12. Does it apply to the next we have from 30 to 42?
Yes.
Does it apply if we add
It
12?
applies.
Does it give us 42?
Yes. Yes.
Does it give us 42?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, so which means the general rule is add 12 to the previous number in order to get the next
Yes.
number. So can somebody help us give us the next 3 numbers? Your hand up.
98.
Somebody with a hand up. Raise your hand. Yes, my son.
I got 98. 98, 110, and 122. 98, 110.
It should be 78.
98.
78.
Sorry.
It should be 78. Yes, it's 78.
It is, sorry, I got 78, not 98. I got 78.
78, 90.
Stop confusing us.
90. There was 90. Then I got 112. Sorry, 102.
102. So those are the next 3 terms using the sequence.
Stop confusing us, miss.
Now, when you look at part B,
It was
Can we have order? Can we have order? Miracle? Miracle, unmute. Maybe she's not here with us. Yes, you have unmuted. Dagire?
It's
Dagire?
at part B. Part B.
Part B. We have 4.1. The next one is 4.7.
4.7.
So, what is the difference between 4.1 and 4.6?
0.6.
0.6. Probably we have added 0.6.
6.
If we assume that is the rule and we add 0.6 to 4.7, what would be the next number?
5.3.
5.3. Is it our next number?
Yes.
Yes. So that means the rule is add 0.6 to the previous number in order to get the next number. So can someone give us the next three numbers? Aine Babas? Aine Babas?
Teacher, it's 7.1. When you add
7.1.
then 7.7,
7.7.
then 8.3.
8.3. Thank you very much. So after establishing the general rule, it becomes very easy to get the next numbers. Now, I assume we have gone through all the general rules for all the numbers. And now, when I pick you, you simply state the next three numbers for the next sequences. We are now on part C. Part C. I'm taking it up.
We add 6.
Joella? Not ready?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Joella? I'm mixing the numbers.
Add +6.
You have added the 6. And then from here, what is the next number?
26.
26. Then here, what is the next number? Are you failing to add?
38.
38. The next number?
44.
44. Thank you. We on part D. Part D. Part D, Karunji. Karunji Shiba.
3 to 11, 3, 11, 19,
19.
27, 35, 43,
43.
51.
51. What is being done?
We are adding 8.
You are adding 8. Thank you very much. Now part E. We want to obtain the next three numbers. We have part E. The first two numbers are 3.42 and then 3.56. So what is the difference between the first two numbers?
14.
Nansamba? Amira? Can you unmute? Yes? Nansamba? You have disappeared? Dagire?
We added 0.14.
0.14 to obtain the next number. You add 0.14 to obtain the next number. So now, can you give me the next three terms?
4.12.
4.12. The next one?
4.26.
4.26. The next one?
4.40.
4.40. Thank you very much. Part F. Part F. Isabella, Nyangoma, and Isabella and Gabriela.
The answers are we are subtracting 0.5.
Yes. Then the next three numbers.
7,
7,
6.5,
6.5,
6.
and 6. Thank you very much. So that was question number 1. And now confidently we can move to question number 2. Question number 2. Giving you also 5 minutes, then we move to something else.
What's up with that?
Kalungi Shiba. Kalungi Shiba. Okay. My son.
Teacher, for number 1.
Yes.
For number 1, I got times 2. It was 2 times 2. Okay, the sequence was 2. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8.
8. Then
16 times 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32, and 32 times 2 is 64.
Thank you. So the missing numbers are 8 and 64. Then Sharon. People, can you unmute and so mute your speakers. Sharon, Rwanda, what your other name is? Sharon.
Good morning. Good morning, teacher. Good morning, teacher.
Good morning.
I wanted to say another way of getting the answers for number 1.
Number 1.
Yes, another way.
Number 1, this number the one you have right.
You can say
You are not
2
clear.
plus 2. 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 you get 4. 4 plus 4 you get 8. 8 plus 8 you get 16. Addition.
You mean this is addition?
Yes,
This is addition.
She's saying you can also double the numbers like 2 plus 2.
So you can also get it by addition. We have 2, 4, 8. There was a dash here. 16, 32, and a dash here. So according to the first person, it was times 2. Times 2. Times 2. 2. Times 2. It gave us 8. And here, 4. Then another alternative is 4, 16, 32, dash. So she's giving us an alternative. Add 2, add 4, add 8, you add 16, you add 32. Thank you very much. That alternative is also giving us the answer. We have 2 plus 2, so you double the number, in other words. Like she said, you double the number. Here we have 2 plus 2 will give us 4. Then 4 plus 4, we shall get 8. And 8 plus 8, we shall get 16. 16 plus 16, we shall get 32. And 32 plus 32, we shall get 64. Thank you. It is another alternative. We can also see the pattern. Add the number, double the previous number in order to get the next number. So that is an alternative to the first bit. Thank you very much. Now we have part B. Part B. Raise up your hand. Munira?
Aye.
Munira? Neither you are not there. Shukra. Shukra, Naira. You're not there. Janet Nakyanzi.
Teacher, I kept on subtracting. Teacher, I subtracted.
What are we subtracting?
Teacher, minus 19.
Minus 19. Then what
minus
is the number?
70.
Yes?
49.
49.
Then 25 on the other one.
Yes?
25 on the other missing one.
This is which number is missing here?
Teacher, it's 49.
49. What rule are we using?
Teacher, I'm subtracting odd numbers.
You are subtracting odd numbers? Oh,
Yes.
subtracting odd numbers. So from 100.
Annie, why are you
now
texting us?
We have 64. There is a dash. We have 36. And then another dash. So the difference here is 19.
Minus 19.
And what is the difference here?
Minus 17.
What is the difference here?
Minus 15.
What will be the difference here?
Minus 13.
And what will be the difference here?
Minus 11.
Okay. So when we subtract 14 from 64, what do we get?
49.
49. 13 from 49.
36.
36. 11 from 36.
25.
25. Thank you very much. Thank you. Asante sana. Asante sana. Ongeza tena. So which part are we
Excuse me, teacher.
Can you mute?
Excuse me, teacher.
Can you mute?
Excuse me,
Which number
teacher.
are we on? Yes.
Excuse me, teacher.
Excuse me,
I
teacher.
think there is another alternative.
Yes.
Meridian?
I think there is another alternative.
Which number?
We can use square numbers, but the square numbers are descending.
Square numbers?
Yes, because 10 times 10, 100. 9 times 9, 81. 8 times 8, 64. Like that. But when descending.
That is very good. So we
Multiply.
have part B, alternative.
Multiply a counting number by its own self.
We have 100. We have 81. We have 64. Dash 36 dash. So according to Babie, these are square numbers. 10 squared, 9 squared, 8 squared. Then we shall have the square of 7. We shall have the square of 6. We shall have the square of 5. Very good. So the square of 7 is 49. The square of 5 is 25. Another asante sana. Asante sana. Thank you very much. So can you look at part C? Part C. Mysore?
Teacher, for part C, I think there is an error because
Part
30
C.
is repeated twice. Sequence.
Okay, let's first look at the rule for the first two numbers, and then probably they can give us a hint. They can give us a hint. We have 6, we have 9, we have a dash, we have 21, we have a 30. Probably those ones can give us a hint. So what do you think is being done here?
Adding 3.
Adding 3.
So add 3. Then
That's 3.
yes.
Then you
If we add a 3, this would give us 4. And probably adding a 3 would give us 1. So now,
That's 3.
We add the
if
9
we add
and you get
the
8.
next odd number, if we add the next odd number, what do we get?
11.
18.
Get?
11.
If we add the next odd number, that will be 5. 5 plus 9, that will be 14. And from here, if we
14.
add the next odd number, we get 21. Is that correct?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
So probably the general rule is we add the next odd number. We add a 3, gives us 9. Add a 5, we get 14.
14.
Add a 7, we get 21. Now, it means we are going to add the next odd number. And what is the next odd number?
9.
9.
9.
So we add a 9 and we shall get 30. Then,
Yes, and there is another 30. There is another 30 after that 30. That's what,
yes, it might
that's what I was
be
saying.
an error. It might have been a typing error. So here we are getting the sequence. Add the next odd number. We added a 3, we added a 5, we added a 7, we added a 9, and those ones have worked, not so? Because in the sequences, we look at a pattern. What is being done? What is the general rule? And in this case, the general rule becomes add the next odd number. What is the next odd number from 9?
11.
11. It's 11.
So we add the next odd number, and that will give us 41. So that might have been a typing error, and the next number is 41. We are on D. We are on D. Can someone give us the missing numbers? Part D. Can someone give us the missing numbers? Nachitende.
Good morning, teacher.
Yes, morning Q.
I got 7.5.
You got 7.5.
And 17.5.
And 17.5. Could you mind telling us what you have done?
I first subtracted 0 from 1.5 to get 1.5.
You subtracted
0 from 1.5 to get 1.5.
And you got 1.5. Then?
Yes. Then I subtracted 1.5 from 4 to get 2.5.
2.5. So here they have added 1.5. Here they have added 2.5. Probably on the next they are adding 3.5. And then from there 4.5. Then 6.5. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right? Yes. So thank you very much. Then part E. Part E, can we get the missing numbers? Or Atara, Anna? Atara, Anna? If not there, Favor? But we requested that you write both names when you are joining so that we can easily identify you. Nazifa Lukanga. Nazifa Lukanga, you have unmuted. Can you speak? Can you speak? Favor or Nazifa, anyone who is ready? Okay, Marine. Marine.
Okay, I was going to do the part D, but got done. Let me put off my hand.
Can you speak louder, please?
I was going to do part D, but it was already done. So I'm not. That was done. D, but it was done. I guess.
Okay, part E. No one, let's work together then. So here we have added a 6, probably. Here we have added a 10. Then I don't know what we are going to add and what we are going to add.
I think 15.
We have 6. We had 10. What should we add next?
15.
What should we add next?
15.
15? How are you getting it at 15?
14.
We have 6. This is 10. Both of these numbers are
14.
even numbers. Not so. But there is another number in between here that is not considered. So from 16, we have added 10, which means we might have another number that is not considered, another even number that is not considered, and then we move to the next one. So what is the next even number from here?
14.
14.
So when we skip the 12, we come to 14. Let's try and see if it will work. Then we skip one even number, and then we shall have
18.
So
18.
can we try? We have
18.
17 plus 14.
31.
We get 31. Assuming it works, then 31 plus 18. What do we get?
49.
49. So there we jubilate that it has worked. Meaning that for the next one, we shall skip one even number and add on the next one. We skip
22.
the 20, and then what we got, what we add?
22.
22. Thank you. Add 22. What is the next term?
22.
47. 77.
30?
77.
77.
71.
Yes, 71. 71. 71.
Thank you very much. That was that activity which we have successfully done. So if there is a pattern, it is very easy to obtain the next term.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes. Your hand, David.
I was asking, this thing is kind of confusing.
Is that
me.
one?
Part E.
Yes, teacher.
It's
Is
kind of
that one?
confusing. me. It's Babish.
Teacher, what I'm trying to say is that this sequence must be added on triangular numbers, not another number.
What is your question, please?
That's what
I
I
was
thought.
saying that this sequence is like as if that we can only add triangular numbers
It's
because
not.
We can add
triangular numbers.
Triangular numbers?
Mm.
Oh.
Yes, teacher, because the way it starts with 6 and then 10, it's kind of confusing.
And then 15 and then 17.
So it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
determine.
You mean here we added triangular numbers?
Yes.
We need to
We
work.
might
Let's
try.
try.
It will work. Yes.
We have 1, we have 7, we have 17, we have 17, we have a dash, we have 49, and then a dash. If we add triangular numbers, I don't know whether we know what triangular numbers are. Triangular numbers. The first one, the second one is 1 plus 2. The third one is 1 plus 2 plus 3. Fourth one, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. Let's see. This is 1. This is 3. This is 6. This is 10. This is 15. This is
21.
21, the next one will be 28. So now, if we are to add triangular numbers, assuming that is what we are supposed to do, because the first two are triangular numbers. So we add, we get this one, meaning that here we will add a 15. And then here we will add, the next one is 21. So let's see if it's giving us. We have plus 6, plus 10, plus 15, plus 21, plus 28. Supposing that is correct. So here we have 17. And then from here we add 15. What do we get? 32.
32.
Then on 32, we add 21. Does it give us?
No.
Somebody who had suggested we add 21 to 32. What do we get?
53.
What do we get?
53.
3. And the number is 49. So does it work? Just like I told you that you don't only consider the first two numbers, it must work for all the numbers given. So if we had assumed we are adding triangular numbers, it would work for the first two numbers. But then when we come to the next term, it doesn't work. Therefore,
No,
that
it
means
does not.
that was not the format. Are we together? But the one we have suggested here works for all
Teacher.
the numbers. Are we together, ladies? Yes.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Yes, teacher.
Now, what is our next subtopic?
Generating number sequences.
Generating number sequences.
Generating number sequence. Number sequence. Sequence.
Can somebody guide us through activity 6.3? Somebody guide us through activity 6.3.
Yes.
Lavidia?
6.4. 6.4.
Lavidia, is it your sister guiding us or you?
6.3.
We are listening.
Teacher, can I guide?
Yes, can you?
Activity 6.3, generating a sequence. You
That
can
is
use
who?
a formula to generate.
Okay. We are listening.
You can use a formula to generate sequences. For example, the formula 5n with n being equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on generates the sequence 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4. The sequence generated is 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on.
When n is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes. So
Yes.
what we have 5 times 1. If n is equivalent to 1, we have 5 times 2. If n is equivalent to 2, we have 5 times 3. If n is equivalent to 3, we have 5 times 4. If n is equivalent to 4, we have 5 times 5. If n is equivalent to 5, which would give us 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. So if the sequence is 5n, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would give us the new sequence. The new sequence would be, we now have 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Thank you very much. Continue. Continue.
Example, what sequence do you generate by using the following formula? 5n minus 1.
5n minus 1. Remember, our n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And what do we call these numbers? What do we call these numbers?
Counting numbers.
They are counting numbers or natural numbers. Now, the formula is 5n minus 1. Can we substitute in the formula and obtain the numbers? What would be the first number if n is 1?
4.
If n is 1, what would be the first number?
4.
4.
4. Then the next number?
9.
9. The next number?
14.
14. The next number?
19.
19.
The next number?
24.
24.
24, and so on. Good. Then part B?
6n plus 2.
6n plus 2. Remember, our n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. There are so many counting numbers, but we have just decided to take the first 5. So, if n is 1, what would be the first number?
8.
5.
Are we correct?
14.
14.
Good. 20.
20.
26.
26.
32.
32.
38.
38, and so on. Those would be the first numbers. That is the sequence now generated. Now, can somebody continue? Continue with that work, that reading that, until we come to the exercise.
So you can find the formula for this sequence. They're just giving examples. Should I read them?
You can find the formula for the sequence. What sequence?
11, 21, 31, 41,
41,
51, 61.
51, 61.
41,
So what formula can we use to
51.
generate this sequence?
10n
What
plus
formula? Can somebody type the formula in the chat room?
teacher 10n plus 1.
10n
10n
plus
plus
1.
1.
Somebody is suggesting 10n plus 1. We try the first number and see if it will give us. If n is 1, then this will give us 10 plus 1, which is equivalent to 11. If n is 2, we shall have 10 times 2 plus 1, which will give us 21. If n is 3, we shall get 10 times 3 plus 1, that is 31. If n is 4, we shall get 10 times 4 plus 1, which is equivalent to 41, and so on. Thank you very much, the person who has given us the sequence. Then we look at, compare your answers with other members in the group. We are working as one group, probably, and we are coming to an agreement that actually our sequence has the formula 10n plus 1. We now have that exercise. We have that exercise. Can somebody tell us what we are supposed to do with this exercise? Somebody read
What
it.
number comes out of each of these number machines? They
Yes,
have
we
given
have a
us.
machine. Maybe this is a factory. It is a factory. You enter an input and then it gives the output. We have the input for the first number machine. The input is 7. 7 is entered in the machine.
7.
And then when it goes
Plus
into the
2
machine,
is
we
plus
add
2.
2. And then we want to see the output. We want to see the output. We have our number machine. Our input is a 7. But when the 7 enters the machine, we add a 2. And then what will come out as the output?
9.
The output will be
9.
We have 7 plus 2 is a 9.
9.
Part B. Part B is still a number machine. The input is 8. It comes into the machine. And what happens in the machine? We subtract a 5. Then we want to establish the output. What would be the output?
3.
Is a 3. Thank you. Then part C, the input is 14. It enters in the machine, and what happens in the machine? We add a 9. So what will be the output?
23.
It will be?
23.
It will be a 23. So thank you very much. We have done question number 1 of that exercise. Would you please do question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, question number 5? Is that okay?
Yes, teacher.
For your exercise, somebody to tell us the page. Which page is it?
Page 53.
Page 53. So could you do that exercise? And please submit. We have our assignment group. And I still give you my number 070 416 4909. When you send me a message in that WhatsApp number, I will add you to the WhatsApp group where we can submit. If not the e-learning platform, we can submit that work there.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
They are doing from number 2 up to number what?
Number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You see those numbers?
Yes, teacher, we see them.
Okay. So please do the numbers. Let's practice as much as possible so that we can always remember what we have studied. Like I told you in the first lesson, what we study goes to the short-term memory. But if you continue rehearsing, somebody who is asking whether to be added in Naigaga to the WhatsApp group, I've given you my number. Please don't write here your number because I will not get it. But when you send a message in my WhatsApp number, I will give you the group.
Teacher, I sent
Or somebody who is already in the group can send you the link and take you to the link. Otherwise, I want to thank you very much for having been cooperative. Thank you for having come in time. There are those ones maybe up to now they are failing to join because the number is still small. So inform your friends that we are having free lessons on Zoom for this month at least, so that the members can also benefit from this group. Somebody to say a closing prayer. Somebody to give us a closing prayer. Agaba.
Yes,
Babidi,
teacher.
Raihana. Babidi, Raina.
Please humble yourselves for a word of prayer.
Yes.
Lord, we'd like to thank you for what we have learned today, and we'd like to teach us all this. Lord God, please bless them abundantly. And we ask you, Heavenly Father, Lord, that what we have learned today, may we store it properly and use it in the right time. And in Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher, for the lesson. Bye. Thanks for the lesson.
Bye,
teacher.
Teacher for the lesson. See you next week.
Hey, teacher.